المصطفى محمد وعلى الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين واللعنة الدائم على أعدائهم وغاصب حقوقهم ومنكر فضائلهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد، فقد قال الله الحكيم في محكم كتابه المجيد: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ومن يخرج من بيته مهاجرا إلى الله ورسوله ثم يدركه الموت فقد وقع أجره على الله. صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلى الله على محمد وعلى محمد. The continuation of the discussion of the position of man within the creation and the peculiar aspect or the unique aspect that has been given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to insan, to man, which we said it's intellect, it's the aql that has been given. And in that slide that you have up there, you could see the two models. One is the model, the cosmological model of the creation. One is the macrocosm, which means the creationist set itself, how the creation is according to the teachings of the Quran and also the teachings of the Masumin and the Awliya, the scholars, the theologians and the Urafa. Therefore you have the realm which is called the Jabarut, which means that it's the realm of the Asma Ilahi, the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through His names. We understand Him through His names. Names are just the alayam, they are the signs actually. Because the name is a sign of something which is higher. That's what a name is. So the real thing is that wujud, is the existence, what it is showing. We call this a mic. This mic is the name. When we say mic, the thing comes into your mind is its function. So this in the same way you have the names of Allah. Those names indicate something which is higher. So for those who wanted to investigate a bit more, the very first session of Imam Khomeini on Tafsir of Surah Hamd, which also been translated in the book by Hamid Al-Ghar, the Tafsir of Surah Hamd, which Imam Khomeini gave. He talks about Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim and the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, where he points out to the reality of these names. Names actually are indication of existence, and existence itself means that it is there, it is high, it is alive, and there is nothing but in terms of the existential reality other than God. So everything becomes nothing but the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. However, there are these specific names which belong to Allah. So it gets a bit more sort of deeper in terms of explanation of what existence is and what these names are all about. Anything that doesn't exist is basically does not have the element of mercy to it. Whatsoever exists have the element of mercy. When it has the element of mercy, it has existence, it has a name, and obviously when it has a name, that name is nothing but an alama of existence, a sign of existence. Therefore nothing exists but God, so every name becomes nothing but the name of God. However, when it comes to the higher level, to the highest level, those are the 99 names which really point out to the sublime sort of a reality of God. Anyways, so you can probably refer to that first session of his tafsir. He gave actually 5 tafsir sections, Imam, on television. It's on YouTube as well. It's in Farsi though. It has the Arabic caption. But if you want to look at it in English, there's a translation of it in English as well. Maybe Islam.org may have it. So you have the realm of Jabarut, the realm of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is the highest. Right? Now, right next to it is the model of insan, it's a human being, where, parallel to that, or if you compare that Jabarut, you may be able to see that in that insan is the aql, is the intellect. As we said that from our side it is the aql, but from the side of the God it is actually the ruh. So the watered down version or the lowest version of that very ruh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَنَفَخْتُ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِي, is nothing but the intellect, pure intellect, not the material intellect which we were talking about, in terms of we calculate, we see things that what is good for me, what is not good for me. It is intellect, but it has a more of an element of, material to it. But we are talking about the al-aqlu ma ubida bih al-rahman. As Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says, that aql, when he defines aql is actually by which Rahman is worshipped, that aql. And then, they asked him about Mawiya. What did Mawiya have? He was very clever, he was very intelligent. Then Imam said, this is something that is similar to aql. This is not aql. This is actually nakara. It's called nakari. So here, the aql, when it comes to sublime aql, in terms of insan, that intellect that we are talking about, that could be compared to the Jabaruti level in the cosmological network. Then you have the realm of the Malaika, realm of the angels, the angelic realm, where you have all these, for example, Israel and Mikael, and we also mentioned that within that realm you have certain phenomena such as rizq, such as ilm, such as generosity. All of these, spiritual phenomena and realities dwell in that realm. Then obviously you have the final level, which is the mulk, which is insan. That now, you have that macrocosm in terms of the creation, and then you have the microcosm as an insan. Now this all macrocosm, as Amirul Mu'mineen says, is saying that is related to him, is that all this microcosm which we are talking about, Jabarut and Malakut and Mulk, is in the microcosm. It is in you. All of those asma is in you. That's why when a person reaches to the highest level of Kamal, then he is able to say that Anal Haq, for example, in the case of Hallaj, who was executed, or many other, for example, you would have. But people who are of greater capacity, such as the Masumin alayhi salam, then they would say Nahnu Asma'ullah, that we are the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because those Jabarut, as we are talking about, is within them. That microcosmic reality that is out there is in them. Then in terms of the Malakut as well, that is in insan, where a person who is like, Jibreel comes to, as Imam was doing tawaf, the 50th Imam and the 60th Imam, they were doing tawaf of Kaaba, and a young man comes and asks something. And Imam said, come to me after I pray my prayer behind Maqam Ibrahim, meet me there. So this man, this is reported by the 6th Imam, mentioning about his father. This man comes, he asks a few questions and he leaves. Then, the 5th Imam says, do you know who this was to the 6th Imam? He says, who this was? He says, it was Jibreel, who came to ask me a question. So even the Malakut, where personalities like, Jibreel, who is, one of the archangel, comes and attend to Imam Sadiq and to the Masumin alayhim salam for knowledge, because they are dwelling in the level of Jabarut, which is higher than the level of Malakut. So they have no choice but to come to the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam to inquire about reality, about things. Then obviously the mulk is the mulk, they are also in this dunya, I'm just like a mortal man, just like you. However, why he comes to me? That's what the Prophet said. If you cut them, they will bleed. They have emotions, they have love, they have, needs in terms of the physical reality that so on the same model, it's for insan, it's for everybody. So even a person, a human being such as you and I also is able to really acquire that intellect, acquire that levels of Jabarut and fulfill that journey, which man is supposed to take, as the Quran points out. Now, this is the journey that we'll be talking about tonight, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Quran, in Surah Nisa, verse number 100. وَمَنْ يَخْرُجْ مِنْ بَيْتِ مُهَاجِرًا إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ. Whosoever, يَخْرُجْ is basically who leaves. مِنْ بَيْتِ, whosoever leaves, his house. Where? مُهَاجِرًا إِلَى اللَّهِ, towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and towards Rasul. Now this is talking about a hijrah, it's talking about a journey of a person from his house. Some of the exegetes says that, well, it's maybe about Hajj. When a person leaves to go to Hajj, he leaves his house, he goes towards Allah. He's doing hijrah towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Labbaik Allahumma labbaik. Labbaik la sharika laka labbaik. Innal hamda wa ni'mata laka wal mulk. We say labbaik, God have called me, I'm coming. I'm leaving my house, I'm going to the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm going to the ziyarat of Rasulullah. So, is it really talking about that bayt, that house, with meaning that you're leaving your house and going towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Actually, the exegetes, they point out to a deeper level. As we have mentioned that Quran, have 70 inner layers. To understand Quran, there are 70 inner meanings of one verse. And in another narration from the Imam, he says that this 70 have 70 more. So it's very deep, right? And as a matter of fact, something that is high, something that is living, obviously, because it's a kalam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this word have no sort of limit to it. It is always existing. It is always the same way as God is high, His kalam is also high. It is actually, we are so, it's very, we are, misfortune that we don't really have ma'rifat of the Quran. Al-Bahajat. He would say that, we talk about Imam Zaman, we like to see Imam Zaman. He said, look at Mus'haf. Open the Quran and look at Quran. When you look at the Quran, it's like looking at Imam Zaman. Inni tarikum fikum al-thaqlain kitab Allah wa itrati. Quran and Ahl Bayt are the same. So if a person have that ma'rifat and he is desperate to see the Imam, he says, oh, go open the Quran, look at the Mus'haf. When you look at the Mus'haf, it's like looking at the face of Imam Zaman. That's what it is. But one should have that, that ma'rifat, that understanding, that knowledge, that spirituality to really, compare Imam with the Quran, and also when one is seeing the Quran, must realize that this is really, he's looking at that hujjat, he's looking at, the Imam. So the Quran is high. The Quran is the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Quran is directly connected with God. It's like, it's really fascinating. Allah in that Jabarut, when it comes down, once again, if we compare to that model to the Quran, when it becomes that, comes to that mulk, it becomes Quran and Arabian, la'allakum, taqilun, or, for us to really intellectualize and understand, or to understand. So from that Jabarut, from that level of Jabarut, beyond Jabarut is the Zat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, obviously, which we are, we don't want to look into that, but from Jabarut, when it comes down to the Malakut, it is Jibrail. From that Malakut, from that Jabarut, when it comes down, Quran, it is Jibrail. From when Jibrail comes down to this earth, it is the Quran. So it is all connected. It is connected from this dunya to the hereafter. Remember I told you about the dua of Imam Sajjad in regards to maut, when he's talking about maut and describing what maut is. We said it is a mukashafa of Israel. It is unveiling of Israel. A person who is dying, that veil is lifted in front of his eyes and he sees Israel. When he sees Israel, naturally it's a reaction that his body, his soul really leaves his body. It does that hijrat, it leaves his body towards Jabarut, right? So Israel is at Malakut. But what could be in the level of Jabarut? You tell me. We said that Quran, in terms of the mulk, in terms of the earthly, on the worldly plane, it is the book which is the Quran. If it goes up, it is Jibrail, because he is the one who brought from the Malakut. If it goes higher up, it is the Kalam of Allah. Allah is Kalim. Allah is, in Quran you have knowledge. In Quran you have, for example, law. All of the Asma Ilahi is in that Quran. And that is one of the adab just mentioned in the margin. That the way, the adab of recitation of the Quran is to see the file in every verse of the Quran. In some of the verse, the file is, Rahman. In some of the verse, the file is Ghafoor. In some of the verse, the file is Aziz. In some of the verse, the file means the actor. Right? So we have to look at who is the main actor of that verse, which is, it goes back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So therefore, the whole Quran becomes nothing but the names of God. Maybe it has a form of a story of Pharaoh and Moses, but in reality it's nothing but the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's what it is. But it has taken form. When it comes from that level of unity, it goes into multiplicity. And an arif, a philosopher, or a wali is the one who sees unity in multiplicity. He comes to that level where he sees nothing but that tawheed that we've been talking about. Anyways, so you tell me that, if it is Israel on the level of malakut and death on the level of mulk, what could be on the level of jabarut?
Al-Mumit.
Mumit is the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If one wants to who doesn't want to see the face of Allah? As we say, أَيْنَمَا تُوَلُّوا فَثَمَّ وَجْهُ اللَّهِ, we are talking about. Wherever you turn, there's a face of Allah. But this face, we are hidden. There's a veil in front of us. We can't see. So the face of Mumit is hidden from us, but that face of Mumit, or that side of Mumit, is not hidden for the person who is dying. That veil is reflected, so he sees Mumit. So death is nothing but beauty. That's what Imam Hussain, Amirul Mu'mineen, they say that death to me is I yearn for death. I love death. Why? Because death meaning that you see the beautiful name of Mumit. Right? That's what death is. If Allah have 99 names, and the journey of insan is to really see all of his names, one of the names is Mumit. So a person who sees 99 is a better person, or a person who sees 98 is a better person. A person who sees 99 is obviously a better person. So therefore, Mumit is nothing but one of his beautiful, Asma'ul Husna, we say. It was one of the beautiful names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Mumit is one of the beautiful names. That's why when they explain in regards to how a person dies, they ask the sixth Imam, he says, for a mu'min, it is like smelling of a rose, of a beautiful flower. He smells it and then he dies. But for a kafir, it is like you throw a cotton cloth on a bushy thorn, on a bush which have loads of thorn, and you pull it, and what state that cotton cloth would be, that's how difficult it is for a person, for a kafir. So therefore, a person who is, a moment he sees this beautiful name of Mumit in that fashion. He yearns for it, he looks for it, and then, as a matter of fact, when we are talking about a person leaving this dunya, entering the barzakh, they say Ahl Bayt alayhi salam come to attend. Ahl Bayt are nothing but the manifestation and the reflection of the divine, Nahnu Asma'ullah, right? That those beautiful names. So when he starts to see barzakh, when he starts to see he starts to unveil, that's how he starts to see them in the form of Ahl Bayt, which is nothing but once again it goes back to that Jabarut. So basically, now the point is that to really do that hijrat of ours from this mulk, from this worldly plane. So this hijrat, which the Quran is talking about here, وَمَنْ يَخْرُجْ مِنْ بَيْتِ مُهَاجِرًا إِلَى اللَّهِ. So this hijrat is from this bayt, is from this house, the house which is the nafs, the house which is our body. From here we have to go towards Allah. From here we have to go towards Rasul. And the beauty here is that, إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ, towards Allah and towards His Rasul. So that means if I'm going towards Rasul, it is as if going towards Allah. Don't say that it is shirk. When we seek intercession from Rasul, from Ahl Bayt, or when we go towards Ahl Bayt, don't say that it is shirk. Why do you bring Ahl Bayt, you should ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala directly. Yes, like we said last night, the Ahl Bayt teach us how to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala directly. The Ahl Bayt teaches us, the chemistry, the methodology of connecting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have to really learn that from those who have that those who have gone that path. They have traveled that. They are the one who have gone that path. Then we will be able to, right? Connect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And they teach us to really, connect to God. So here, this bayti, in the verse which is talking about, is doing that hijrat from my nafs, from my body, from this world towards Allah. And then what happens? ثُمَّ يُدْرِكُهُ الْمَوْتِ. Now, there could be two ways of translating this. When a person really does that, death will happen. It is natural. Obviously, inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. In the physical reality, outward sense, when a person dies, when a person is going.
انسان کو بچنا چاہیے, بچنے کی دعا کرتا ہے, نجات کی دعا. دوسرے ظلم جس سے انسان بچنے کی دعا کرتا ہے, اور تیسرے عذاب جس سے انسان بچنے کی دعا کرتا ہے, نجات حاصل کرنے کی دعا کرتا ہے اور کوشش کرتا ہے. تو چلیے قرآن ہی سے پوچھیں. مشکل تو یہ ہے ہمارے پاس, آج کی دنیا میں غم بھی ہے, ظلم بھی ہے اور عذاب بھی ہے. غم بھی ہے, ظلم بھی ہے, عذاب بھی ہے. چلو ان تینوں چیزوں سے کیسے بچا جائے, نجات کیسے حاصل کی جائے. قرآن مجید سے سوال کرے. پتہ تو نے لفظ نجات استعمال کیے تینوں کے لیے, کیسے نجات حاصل کریں. قرآن مجید کہتا ہم نسخہ بھی بتاتے ہیں, اس لیے کہ ہم بیماری بھی بتاتے ہیں, اس کا نسخہ اور اس کی دوا بھی بتاتے ہیں. بیماری بھی تمہارے اندر ہے اور دوا بھی تمہارے ہی اندر ہے. یہ وہ جو بیماریاں ہیں جو اس کی دوا باہر ملنے والی نہیں ہے, تمہارے ہی اندر ہے. بیماری تمہاری, دوا بھی تمہارے پاس ہے. بس ہم نشاندہی کر دیتے ہیں وہ دوا کیا ہے جس کے ذریعے سے تم اپنی بیماری کو دور کر سکتے ہو, ان مصائب سے نجات حاصل کر سکتے ہو. تین چیزیں ہیں میرے عزیزو, اگر آپ حضرات سن رہے ہیں یا میں پیغام کو آپ تک پہنچا رہا ہوں تو سن لیجئے گا. تین چیزیں ہیں جس کو حاصل کرنے کے بعد ہم ان بیماریوں سے نجات حاصل کر سکتے. ایک, صفات. کچھ اللہ تبارک و تعالیٰ نے ایسی صفات بتائے ہیں قرآن مجید میں جس کے اندر وہ صفت آ جاتی ہے وہ بچ جاتا ہے, جس کے اندر وہ صفت نہیں آتی وہ پریشان رہتا ہے. دو, ذات کا سہارا لیں, رہبر کا, لیڈر کا سہارا لیں. جو اس لیڈر کے ساتھ چلتا ہے وہ بچ جاتا ہے, جو چلتا نہیں وہ بچتا نہیں ہے, وہ پریشان ہو جاتا ہے. اور تیسرا راستہ ہے دعا کا, کہ انسان دعا کرے. یہ تو دروازہ ہمیشہ ہر چیز کے لیے کھلا ہوا ہے, میں اشارہ کروں گا. ایک چیز جو صفات کی طرف توجہ کرے, کہ عام طور سے لوگ اس کی طرف کم کرتے ہیں. ہمیشہ ہم اپنے پرابلمز کو خود سے باہر ڈھونڈنے کی کوشش کرتے ہیں, اس کا سلیوشن باہر ڈھونڈتے ہیں. وہ کیا کہیں گے, وہ کیا کہیں گے, وہ کیا کریں گے تاکہ ہماری مشکلات دور ہو. قرآن کہتا نہیں, پہلے باہر مت جاؤ, پہلے اپنے اندر ہی تلاش کرو. پروردگار کیسے تلاش کریں. قرآن مجید کہتا ہے, ایک, هل ادلکم علی تجارۃ تنجیکم من عذاب علیم, کیا ہم تمہیں ایسا راستہ دکھائیں جس کی وجہ سے تمہیں عذاب سے نجات مل.
During winter, he would go to the haram at night for worship, for ibadat, for ziyarat. And one night it was snowing. And olden days, obviously, the Quddam, the people who work there with this long coat, right, in haram, when you go, inshallah, you will see them. They say that, okay, it's very late and it's snowing and nobody will come for ziyarat, so let's lock it up for tonight and we'll open it up for Fajr, So they decided to lock the haram. So before locking the haram, they were checking that anybody in the haram or not. And then finally they realized that they went upstairs to see anybody upstairs. So they saw Nuqidaki or Isfahani doing ruku next to the dome of Imam Raza alayhi salam at night. So he says they waited a bit. The other khadim said that, he does his ibadat every night on the roof next to the dome, he will be there, so let's go and, we'll leave him here. How long can we wait? So they left. They came to open the haram. And they opened the haram, they came inside, they went upstairs. And Hasan Ali Nuqudaki Isfahani was still in ruku, and there was a feet of snow, or a huge pile of snow on his back. Right? So this person, somebody, basically Jabarut and this Safar, imagine that how difficult it is, right? To be in ruku, snowing, it doesn't care, for that journey towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He had mentioned, I think, that while he was about to die, the students were there and he was going through sakarat, very difficult, very painful. He was having a lot of trouble. His nafs was not leaving the body when he was dying. So they said that, you just heard who he was, right? And they asked him that, what's happening? He said, once in the haram of Imam Rada, I laughed. I just laughed.
not making fun of someone or something. I just laughed. I came out of that sort of, sense of where I am or whatever. I laughed. And this is the refining of me. In order to refine me, I am going through this sakarat. So it is not easy, it is not easy, right? So he, Nuqudaki Isfahani, what I wanted to tell you about him was that I was reading, there was a man who came for the ziyarat of Imam Rada, and he went to recite Surah Fatiha for Allama Tabarsi, one of the person who wrote Majma'ul Bayan, Tafsir of Quran. There's a grave of him in the haram of Imam Rada alayhi salam. So while reciting, a scorpio comes and stings this person. And when the scorpio comes and stings this person, obviously it's poisonous, and he quickly goes to Nuqudaki Isfahani. Nuqudaki Isfahani the name that they have given, Nuqud, really means pea. He used to give peas to the people, recite dua and give peas, and they would eat, and hajat or whatever, they will be cured, right? So this man comes to Nuqudaki Isfahani. Nuqud means peas. So here when he comes to him, he says that this is what happened. He says, okay, you go back to the grave of Aghay Tabarsi, and what happened to that scorpio? He said he went inside one of the holes that was there. So okay, you go back there near that hole and say that Nuqudaki Isfahani is asking you to come out. So when he comes out, take it in your hand and take him to one of the graveyards which is closer to the haram, because he has lost his house and he has come there. If you take him back and put him there, you will get the cure, you will get the shifa. So and then report me and come back and tell me. So this person who is reporting this, he was sitting with him, and this man comes. So he goes there and he tells to the scorpio to come out from the hole. This scorpio comes out, he takes him in his hand, and he takes him to one of the graveyard which was at the entrance of the haram of Imam Raza, and he drops him there. And then after that, he was cured. There was no pain, there was nothing for him. And then while the student of Aghay Nuqudaki Isfahani was still sitting with him, he comes and he reports and he thanks him. So a person, when there's nothing of his remains, he becomes a medium and a vehicle to deliver people. He becomes a messenger, a savior for others, by which or through him people really reach kamalat or perfection, or acquire things that, for example, shifa and so on and so forth, right? So that is this journey. So basically, وَمَنْ يَخْرُجْ مِنْ بَيْتِي مُهَاجِرًا إِلَى اللَّهِ, a person who travels from his nafs, from this house towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? Now, as this house also contains the jabarut, as we are saying, in order to the model. So it's not like physically traveling, but traveling from the point of view of our nafs. So when he travels, obviously when he's traveling, he will reach the malakut. He will reach the angelic realm. So when he reaches the angelic realm, you have Jibrail, you have other angels, you have where he will be accompanied, or where he will be witnessing them, where he will be meeting them. And even in that angelic realm, the scholars, they divide into different levels, obviously. And the angelic realm is the highest level. You have the level of imagination. That is also immaterial. It's not body, right? It's not jism. It is immaterial realm, our imagination. And then beyond imagination, which is much more powerful, is the dreams. You tell me, without studying philosophy, is our imagination more powerful, or is our dreams more powerful? Our dreams are more powerful. That's why it kind of have so much effect physically as well. Sometimes ghusl becomes wajib, isn't it so? That's not just the imagination. So dreams are more powerful, right? So you have the levels of the imagination first. And many people get stuck in imagination. They are traveling hijrat, and all of a sudden they imagine, I don't know, they are seeing this angel or that angel. They are stuck there. They will not go any more further. This is shaitani. This is shaitan actually, trying to come in the form of a person imagination, and then he imagines, mashallah, I have a big amama on my head, I am the Ruhullah, or I am the spiritual guide, or I am the Ayatollah, or whatever. This is my imagination, that I have reached to a point, that's it, I'm there, I'm stuck there. And then a little bit of disrespect, a little bit of something happens, as, what are you talking about? You should address me as Sheikh. Why are you calling me this? Or you should address me as that. So that's the imagination that I have. I haven't even gone further. Then after that is the level of dreams. That's why they say a person, when he travels, he starts to see his dreams become clearer and clearer. Messages are given to him to him in dreams. For Rasulullah, 6 months, Wahi came in a form of a dream. Hazrat Ibrahim, he saw Ismail being slaughtering Hazrat Ismail in the dream, right? So dream. And then even after, beyond the dream, is that where he sees the reality, where he sees Israel, right? He used to come in a form of a human being, a young lad who would come and would sit with cross his feet in front of Rasulullah, right? And then beyond that is that the level where he connects to the level of Jabarut, where Rasulullah, he himself says that, during the day, there is an hour in which I am with Allah. Even nobody is there. Which becomes that Hadith Qudsi, for example, which have no medium, which have no sort of intermediary, such as Jibreel, to inform the Prophet, but it is Qala Allah. Allah informs. Ziyarat Ashura is Hadith Qudsi. Allah directly inform Rasul, about Ziyarat Ashura. Anyways, so here is a person reaches to that level where he faces death. There's no anything to do with his nafs remained in him. Now look at the ajr. Faqad waqa ajrahu alallah. The ajr and the reward that a person would receive is given by Allah. Certain awards, certain thing that we do, a person, for example, I don't know, in America or wherever, in England, a person does something, the reward is given by the head teacher. In the state, the reward is given by the governor, for example. But he does really something great, the reward is given by the queen or by the president himself, because he has done something marvelous. So the reward is from somebody who is of a higher level. So here, this hijrat of a person who is doing purification of his nafs and who is trying to travel, who is trying to really get attached with his aql, with his intellect, right? He's traveling. Now the ajr is not by angels. The ajr is not Jannah, that he will have this castle or that castle. The ajr is given by Allah, or some of them, they say that Imam Khomeini also makes a note here and he says that, ajrahu alallah means that ajr is Allah himself. The ajr of a person who is doing this traveling, this purification towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, towards that aql, really, be guided with his aql, guide his nafs by this aql and travel. The ajr is Allah himself. That is really fascinating. It is not Jannah. It is not, for example, this angel or that angel, but Allah himself is the ajr. And this we see in regards to fasting as well. In the month of Ramadan, you may have been reminded by our scholars, by our ulama, they remind us, and that is that as-sawmu, fast is for me, wa ana ajziya or ujziya bih. I am the ajr itself. I am the reward of the fast itself. So fasting is so powerful that the reward is not given by, or the reward is not this or that, 70,000, castles or whatever. No, the reward is Him. Allah Himself is the reward. Or Allah is the one who would give the reward. Because Allah have that capability or capacity to really understand what reward is. Remember that hadith of the Prophet when he was going on Mi'raj, and there was this angel, and the Prophet asked him that, is there anything that you cannot record? It's an angel. So he said, yeah, 3 things. One is when a person, is kind towards an orphan. If a person takes care of an orphan, the reward is not cannot be given by angels. It is Allah who knows what the reward is. That's number one. The other, he says that when there are more than 10 people in a Jama'at prayer, mashallah, every evening, so much reward that we get here, more than 10 people in a Jama'ah, in a Salatul Jama'ah, in a congregation prayer. The reward cannot be calculated, is given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number 3, he says, Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Muhammad wa. Because the salutation is from Allah. Now, who can calculate the reaction of Allah, who can calculate the reward of salawat, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself is reciting salawat. So that is salawat, and recitation of salawat have great reward. Allah Tabai would say that if you face any problem, say le salawat rabbi firsi. Flood it with salawat. If you have a problem, if you have difficulty in your life, flood that with that intention with salawat. So that this problem that is there with salawat is gone. It's flooded, it's gone. So salawat is that powerful. They would come to Bahajat, you would say, we have waswas, we have problem, And shaitan does waswasa and have this problem or that problem. 2 things he would emphasize. One is astaghfar and the other is salawat. Recitation of astaghfar and recitation of salawat is very powerful. Right? So here, the ajr of a person who is doing this journey towards Jabarut, towards Malakut, from his nafs he's moving. He's coming out. He's stepping on his nafs. He's leaving that, putting that phone on the silent, and it's very, he's attending a majlis or sitting in a majlis, and it's not good to be on the phone, for example. Yeah, well, making notes and all that, that's not a problem. But I'm saying that, sometimes it is. Or sitting is in a company of somebody, and, he wants... It's not respectful for the person who is there, right? You're sitting on the phone, he's speaking to you, it doesn't look nice, obviously, right? So it's a journey that we have to do. We have to really come out of this, right? Well, and then ajrahu alallah. Now this is what we find when it comes to Karbala. That Hazrat Hur, nothing's stopped him to even leave Karbala for, I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight Imam Hussein. They say that he has some marifat of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, and that I don't want to fight him. But he joined Imam Hussein. The aql will say, save your life. The intellect will say, save your life. And Imam Hussein also, reminded them on the day of Ashura, go far away. So that you go to a place where you don't listen to my voice, to my call. If you are there and you don't help me, then you will be in trouble. At least go far. Don't listen to my call on the day of Ashura. Right? So Hur could have said that, okay, I would leave. Or Shimr could have said that, okay, I will not kill you. Imam Hussein said that, I will give you paradise. I will give Shafa of Rasulullah, don't kill me. He could have said, okay, I don't want to kill you. He'll leave him. No. Hur could have said, I will escape. I don't want to get engaged in battle with Imam Hussein. As he had mentioned when he stopped in Sharaf or Ashraf, that was the 26th station where Imam Hussein stopped. It was 26th of Zil Hijjah. So from 26th of Zil Hijjah till 2nd of Muharram, where Imam Hussein was surrounded in Karbala. He was stopped in Karbala from 26th of Zil Hijjah to 2nd, Hur was with Imam Hussein, and he clearly mentioned that I don't want to engage you in battle, and I know that if we engage you will be killed. He says that. Then Imam Hussein replied to him, are you scaring me with death? And then he talks about what death is, and he gives a sermon there, so on and so forth, right? So from 26 till 2nd, very close, Hur with Imam Hussein alayhi salam, because that's what he said, that I can allow you, I'm not gonna let you go Medina. I'm not going to let you go Kufa, because that's what Umar Asad have asked me. Ibn Ziyad have asked me not to do this. If you want to go, maybe you go to some other place other than Medina and Kufa, till the message come from Ibn Ziyad, because he has written to Ibn Ziyad. So he would have a reason saying that, well, my duty was not to let him go to Kufa or Medina, so he went somewhere else. So during this time period, by the time I get the command from Ibn Ziyad, I could say that you have gone, right? So, and then you can write to Yazid as well, that, so that basically, we can buy time, so to speak. But anyways, so Hur was given the command by Ibn Ziyad, no, stop him, and basically be harsh on him. And so he stopped him in Karbala, which we spoke. Now, Hazrat Hur, as it says in the Ziyarat of Hazrat Hur, there's a very nice book, the Kisa publication have published about the Ziyarat. It gives you a nice description of the Imams and the Ziyarat that are there in Karbala. And there's a session on Hazrat Hur as well. There's a Ziyarat Name of Hazrat Hur as well. Recite one Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And as you know that Hazrat Hur, when he stopped Imam Hussein alayhi salam, there is a conversation between them, which indicates that Hazrat Hur was fully aware of the Imamat. Hazrat Hur was fully aware of who Hazrat Fatima Zahra Salamullah alayha is. Because when Imam Hussein alayhi salam says that, may your mother cry on you, O Hur, Imam Hussein, Hazrat Hur said that I would have said the same thing if I did not know who your mother was. So he was aware that who is the mother of Hazrat Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And the other thing which Hazrat Hur says, that when I left Kufa, I heard somebody telling me that, we give you the bashara, we give you the glad tidings of paradise, O Hur. So he looked in the back, right after he was given the charge from Kufa to stop Imam Hussein alayhi salam. So he was shocked that I'm going to stop Imam Hussein, and I hear this, I get this basharat. Then he looked at, there was nobody. 3 times he says this happened to me, that when I was going towards stopping Imam Hussein alayhi salam, this was coming to me. Somebody was telling me that we give you glad tidings of the paradise. And on the day that he arrives, the day of Ashura, he comes to Imam Hussein and he says this. And Imam Hussein said, yes, this is what it means, that you've been forgiven. Because when he comes in the Ziyarat Name, we recite, I'll mention what happens when he arrives. In the Ziyarat Name, in the Ziyarat of Hazrat Hur, I wanted to point out to, that is a very beautiful Ziyarat, in which he recites of Ziyarat, that it says that peace be upon you who sacrifice وَفَدَى بِرُوحِهِ لِلْحُسَيْنِ. He has fada, he has given his sacrifice, his ruh for Hussein. We are talking about ruh and aql. And this is his work, what he has done. A person would say it's a غير عاقلانه. It's very, intellectual. It is very strange that a person who is intellectual will go towards Imam Hussein and know that he's going to die. So every aql, every intellectual person wants to save his life. But here it says, وَفَدَى بِرُوحِهِ لِلْحُسَيْنِ الشَّهِيدَ الْغَرِيبِ الْأَتْشَانِ. Hur is someone who sacrifices ruh. He has given his ruh for Hussein alayhi salam, who was thirsty. In another place, the word of ruh is used, where it says that, Assalamu alayka ya man nakatha bay'atan yazida wa fada bi ruhihi lil Husayn al-Shahid. Once again, peace be upon you, O he who broke his allegiance to Yazid and sacrificed his ruh for Hussein, the Shahid, in the Ziyarat of Hazrat Hur. So once again, the aspect of the aql and ruh, and the sacrificing of the aql, which actually, indicates the beginning of ishq, which beginning of, infatuation with the love of God, which we'll talk about what ishq is later on. Where does the fine line between the aql and ishq exist? Although we also said that we're going to talk about aql nazari, speculative or theoretical intellect and practical intellect. Inshallah, we'll do that tomorrow. So here is where we find Hazrat Hur. was the one who stopped Imam Hussein, right? Is responsible for Imam Hussein in Karbala. And that's why when Shah Ismail came to Iraq, and people used to talk about Hazrat Hur in a bad way, because they say that it was Hazrat Hur who pushed Imam Hussein in Karbala, otherwise, he could have been saved. So they blamed Hazrat Hur for this. And people were disrespecting Hazrat Hur. When Shah Ismail, in 16th century, went to Iraq, he went to the grave of Hazrat Hur. Because it was these Shahs, the Safavids, were the one who constructed these harams. These domes that we have, it is them, they have done that. Because Safavid is the first Shi'i dynasty that proclaimed or claimed themselves to be Shias. So when Shah Ismail went to Hazrat Hur's grave, he asked to open the grave to see whether this man is a good man or not. They dig open the grave of Hazrat Hur, and the body was as if it is fresh. For 1,200 years, the body of Hazrat Hur was fresh. And Shah Ismail says that I have read in the books of history that Imam Hussein tied a cloth to his head, a handkerchief to his head. Who that cloth belongs to? That cloth was from Fatima. Was from the How lucky Hazrat Hur is that he gets that cloth as a reward. Moheba, that's what they say. It was a moheba ilahi. It was a divine gift that Hazrat Hur got. And then Shah Ismail says that I have read in the book that Imam Hussein had tied the cloth of Fatima. So I, as a Shah, he's the king, right? He has asked the grave to be open. He can do anything he wants. So so Shah says, open that cloth which is tied to his wound. As soon as they open the cloth, fresh blood start to flow from his head. And the blood was so much that it filled the whole grave. The whole grave was filled with blood. And Shah says that put this cloth back. This cloth is given as a gift. So what Ahl Bayt gives as a gift cannot be taken back. So this gift that we have with us is the love of Ahl Bayt. We have to really take care of it, and we have to transfer it to our children. So here Shah ties the cloth back. So Hur was someone who comes to Imam Hussein alayhi salam in the morning of the day of Ashura. They say that Hur was a very strong man. He was the commander of one of the wings of the army of Umar Asad. He was his chivalry was well known. And in the morning, in order to escape from Yazidi forces, as he says that all night he was just walking in his tent. And one of the slaves asked him that, why are you look so worried and stressful? You are a strong man. And as you know, he himself said that, I don't want to fight you, Imam Hussein, I will kill you. At that time, with 1,000 men, now there are 30,000 against Imam Hussein alayhi salam. So he says that I see myself between Jannah and hell, between hell and heaven. That's where I see myself. I don't know which path to take. It is not easy. The hijrat, the journey of our soul towards Jabarut, towards Allah, towards Haqq, towards truth, towards the Asma Ilahi is not an easy journey. So here he says that I cannot really discern what to do. And from all night he was in this state, stressful and worried what to do. And finally in the morning he says to his slave that, I will come, keep my horse a little bit further, and I will come there with the scapegoat or with the reason that I want to water my horse. So he goes and then he flees towards some people asked him, are you afraid or are you running away from the battle? He says, no, I have chosen to have chosen to go towards Haqq. I have chosen to go towards Jannah. This is Jannah. Why not be that? Why not? Imam Zaman, he says, imagine this, that an Imam is saying, may my life be sacrificed to the companions of Hussein. Ziyarate ashab of Imam Hussein. Assalamu alayka ya awliya Allahi wa ahibbao. These are the ashab of Imam Hussein. They are the awliya. So Hur, who was responsible to corner Imam Hussein, from one side to the other. Look, the love of Imam Hussein, how powerful it is. The marifat of Imam Hussein, how powerful it is. And Imam Hussein, look how powerful it is. That he changes the destiny of Hur. From a person who is, those who are cursed in the ziyarat, have become waliullah. Have become the source of guidance, of example. And here Imam Zaman and Imam Sadiq says that, may my life be sacrificed to the ashab of Imam Hussein. These ashab of Imam Hussein were very special. There was a man hanging onto the cloth of Kaaba and crying that I wish I was with Imam Hussein. The other man said, okay, why don't you go? Then he said, Asma'i haulai maktuba. The names of this ashab is already written by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These are very special people. So here Hazrat Hur in the morning comes to Imam Hussein. As he comes to Imam Hussein, they say that he threw himself on the feet of Imam Hussein. He started putting the sand on his head and crying and lamenting. He says, Hussein, please forgive me, Hussein. Imam Hussein says, oh Hur, you've been forgiven. I know Allah have forgiven you. What a tawbah. What a great tawbah that Hur have done. And then Hur says, please allow me that I go to the tent of ladies. I go to the tent of Zainab. When he comes to the tent of Zainab, as soon as he comes, he says, I'm Hur. Everybody started crying. He says, I have come to seek forgiveness. I have come to fight with my master Hussein. And then Hur comes to Imam Hussein. He says, oh, I was the one who is responsible for this. So I want to go first and fight for you, O Hussein. Please allow me. In another narration and report says that not only Hur came, but even the children of Hur came as well. Before Hur going to the battle, the children of Hur went. They became shaheed. Perhaps Hur have felt and tasted what the master have felt when Hazrat Ali Akbar have died. Because love is that, a lover wants to feel everything what Ma'shuq have felt, right? So maybe he might have felt that as well. So Hur goes and he fights. What a fight and what a battle. It was very difficult to control Hur. And they say that we have to attack and ambush him from all sides. And they attacked Hur from all sides. When he's falling from the steed, he gives salams and salutations to the Imam. In the ziyarat of Hazrat Hur, we recite that. Salam to the one on whom Hussein cried. Hussein have cried. When Hur died, when Hur was shaheed, Hussein have cried. Look how valuable Hur is, that Hussein have shed tears on Hur. Only those who have that ma'rifat can recognize what are the value of the tears of Hussein. And the value of Hussein is, so Hussein comes and places the head of Hur in his lap, and there was blood flowing from the forehead of Hur. And here Imam Hussein takes the handkerchief out of Fatima Salamullah alayha. And as we said in the very first majlis, there is another handkerchief of Fatima. And that handkerchief is for your tears, the tears that you shed for Hussein and the ashab of Hussein. These tears goes in the handkerchief of Fatima. So Hussein ties the cloth, the blood stops, and Hussein and horse body, his horse soul leaves his body. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Sayalamu alladhina zalamu ayyu munqalibin yanqalibun. Fatima Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein.
حورنا شهيد حورنا شهيد حورنا شهيد حورنا شهيد شهيد حورنا شهيد حورنا شهيد حورنا شهيد حورنا شهيد شهيد حورنا شهيد حورنا شهيد حورنا شهيد حورنا شهيد شهيد حورنا شهيد حورنا شهيد حورنا شهيد حورنا شهيد شهيد. Is there anyone to guide me? Is there anyone to guide me? Anyone to stand in my place? Anyone to stand in my place? Any voice to speak out loud, to direct me to the right place, to direct me to the right place. From the other camp I hear adhan, from the other camp I hear adhan, from my camp cheering and song, from the other camp I hear adhan, from my camp cheering and song. Oh, is it so hard to choose? Oh, is it so hard to choose? Corona, Shahid, Corona, Shahid, Corona, Shahid, Corona, Shahid, Shahid, Corona, Shahid. All together. Corona, Shahid, Corona, Shahid, Corona, Shahid. جاءنا فجر علي أكبر جاءنا فجر علي أكبر cuts through the desert morning cuts through the desert morning. Why does it make me restless? Why does it make me restless? I swear this is Rasul's voice. I swear this is Rasul's voice. By Allah, this is Rasul's face. By Allah, this is Rasul's face. Oh Allah, take me to his place. Oh, is it so hard to choose? Oh, is it so hard to choose? Corona, Shahid, Corona, Shahid, Corona, Shahid, Corona, Shahid, Shahid, Corona, Shahid, MashaAllah, Corona, Shahid, Corona, Shahid, Corona, Shahid, Shahid. The intense heat of the desert pressed us down into my spirit. The intense heat of the desert presses down into my spirit. It is nothing but coolness when I hear the cries of children, when I hear the cries of children ringing in the afternoon skies, ringing in the afternoon skies, the cries of a small baby, the cries of a small baby, like a spear pierces my heart, like a spear pierces my heart. Oh, is it so hard to choose? Oh, is it so hard to choose? Horona, Shahid, Horona, Shahid, Horona, Shahid, Horona, Shahid, Shahid, Horona, Shahid, Horona, Shahid, Horona, Shahid, Horona. Shahid Hussein delays the battle. Hussein delays the battle. Why did he ask for one day? Why did he ask for one day? He expects special visitor.